Welcome to the Breakout EDU module focusing on chemistry, specifically with the periodic table content. The title of this lesson is Wizarding School of Chemistry. Materials and locks setup. For this breakout lesson, I use only the large Breakout EDU box. I have used the 3-digit lock box in the past, but I prefer to use a separate 3-digit lock that gets added to the hasp. You also need the hasp, the lock with the key, the word lock, directional lock, 3-digit lock or lock box, 4-digit lock, UV pen and flashlight, and of course you'll need to print the materials. For the key lock, I have the students complete an activity where they have to come up with the name Pauling, and I keep the key at my desk, and when they give me the code word, I hand them the key for their lock. The 5-letter lock can be set to either the word Marie or Curie, depending on what type of word lock you use. I have an older version of the kit, and so my directional lock can take more than 5 directions. So I have the directional lock. The setting is up, down, down, left, left, up, up. The 3-digit lock needs to be set to 6, 5, 1. And the 4-digit lock can either be set to 1, 1, 3, 4, or to the code 2, 3, 8, 6. And I will show you in a few slides how you will need to use the UV pen to set up your materials. Game setup. Inside of the large lock box, you will put the acceptance letter. Both the acceptance and condolence letter looks very similar, so make sure you read through them so that you know you have the correct letter inside of the large box. Then I put the hasp onto the box and I lock all 5 locks onto the hasp. Students begin with the welcome letter, asking them to solve some puzzles in order to be accepted into the very prestigious school of chemistry. The first handout that they get is on the left. Theirs is blank. The teacher version, which is included in your materials, is on the right. You will use the UV pen to highlight 3 of the blanks in the individual answer portion of this worksheet. You can see the first answer, you'll highlight the blank with the number 6. The second will get highlighted with blank 5. And the third will be highlighted with blank 1. This allows the 3-digit lock to have the code 651. The next clue is Professor Rutherford's quantum class. The students have to use a cipher. There's an example there for them to learn how to use the cipher. And they have to translate the elements, as are seen on the left, written in the cipher, so that they spell out elements on the periodic table. They will then have to write in the electron configuration for the elements that they determined using the cipher, being careful to put the first number in the first energy level slot, the second number in the second energy level slot, etc. Using the UV pen, you want to write the word valence electrons somewhere on the paper. Then when the students look at just the valence electrons for the different elements, they can see that the top half will give them the first number is the first energy level, the valence electron is 1. The second energy level comes next, its valence electron is 1. The third energy level would come next, that valence electron is 3. And the fourth energy level would come last, that valence electron is 4. Alternatively, if you have one class that likes to tell the second class the answers, you can program the second set of locks to be a different number. That second set of locks would be 2, 3, 8, 6, as shown in the chart. Next we have Professor Franklin's Trends class. Students will have to use the handout included in their packet labeled Table S, Properties of Selected Elements, to complete the table. The completed table is to the right. Using the UV pen, the instructor will have to highlight these particular sets of blanks. The answers to those blanks are in bold, and the answer is what gives them the direction they're going to have to put into the lock. They go simply from 1 through 7, so they go in order. Down at the bottom is the code I'll talk about for the key in just a moment. Study Hall with Professor Segre. This is some work with vocabulary words. Using the UV pen, you're going to want to write those numbers somewhere next to the definitions of the words. Those numbers will indicate to the students what letter they need to use in the word that describes that definition. Once they have all of their numbers, or rather their letters, they need to unscramble them in order to come up with the name of a famous chemist who studied radiation and has the element curium named after them. Hopefully they will be able to, with that clue and the letters that they've obtained from the definitions, be able to unscramble those to come up with the name Marie Curie. Both of those are 5 letters long, so you're welcome to use either the word Marie or the word Curie, and again, you could change them from one class to the next so that they cannot pass on the answer. And that will give you 5 letters for the 5-space word lock. Included in their handout is a periodic table of the elements. They need to use this specific table. It is from the New York State Regents Chemistry reference tables. If you can't see this, you might want to print a better copy. But they have to use all of the digits when they're calculating the formula weights on a previous handout. And I mentioned this table S. It also comes from the New York State Chemistry Regents reference tables that they will have to use to fill out the other table. Using the quotes, there's a little code down at the bottom of one of their worksheets. What the numbers refer to is the quote number, followed by the word number in the quote, and then finally the letter in the quote. So for example, the code 121 refers to quote 1, word number 2, letter number 1, which gives them an I. Looking at quote number 2, word number 3, letter number 2, we get an A. And we continue this process until we get all of the letters from the various quotes to be able to spell out the word Pauling. No UV pen is needed on any of these quote clues because the table gives them the indication of the letter they're looking for. And finally, here is the complete answer sheet for the Breakout EDU locks. Enjoy!